And joining me now on the phone is Republican Congressman from Indiana, Marlin Stutzman, who sits on the Financial Services and Budget Committees. Congressman Stutzman, thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Laura. Great to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. I wanted to get your reaction to Trump saying that Iran cannot blackmail America. We heard that today from the Oval. His comments come as Iran fired on a tanker in the strait. So many people still wondering what can be done to protect American assets in this critical waterway passage and what might come next.
Laura, this is very typical of this Iranian regime. And, imagine all of the games that they play without any pressure. And now that they're being backed into a corner, we're seeing the true colors of this regime. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they do anything they can in order to remain in power. And I think that this blockade is the right move that President Trump is implementing because at the end of the day, we need to dry up their cash. We need to dry up any of their ability to do business, to be able to ship out any oil and gas, for their funding in the country. I think that's a smart move. And ultimately, this is going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on the Iranians. I think the other piece, too, that I'm curious to know is that there's probably an inside struggle with this regime inside the IRGC. Now that there's a vacancy in the top of the food chain, that there's probably a power struggle with inside. So somebody says one thing and then another person says another thing and takes actions. And I think that's why it's really tough to trust this regime right now.
Yeah, and you've got the Wall Street Journal reporting that U.S. military is preparing to board Iran-linked oil tankers and seize commercial ships in international waters. The headline there, let's take a look. What do you make of it? The U.S. expanding its naval crackdown. How big is this going to be? What are you hearing?
I think it's important to move ahead on this. I mean, if the Iranians want to continue to play games, as we heard the announcement yesterday that the Straits of Hormuz was going to be open for traffic from both the Iran side and, of course, President Trump announced it here at home, I think everybody was so optimistic. I mean, the markets reacted positively. Everybody's looking for a good exit here, but the Iranians continue to behave like this, and that's why I think the blockade needs to stay in place. If it takes stronger enforcement, I support that because we've come this far, and I think we're already seeing, even with the ceasefire in place, that we have the ability to still put in a tremendous amount of pressure on them, and the Straits of Hormuz is really their Achilles heel.
And the back and forth that we're seeing right now, we're all watching it with the U.S. military announcing that they forced 23 ships to turn around near the Hormuz Strait while Iran reverses course. So when we look at this blockade, what does that action tell us?
Well, I think it shows that we're going to continue to put the pressure on. We're not going to let some ships in, some ships out, if that's what the Iranians want to do. I think the big piece here is that President Trump is talking with China. That's an important aspect here, and that there's a handshake deal here that if we can keep China from sending any sort of weapons to Iran to support them, if we can communicate to them that working this together, it's better for them to get the straits opened again, so that way they're getting their oil and gas for China. I think that's a really important aspect to this. Of course, Europe continues to sit on their hands. I don't know exactly what their strategy is here, but at some point everybody's going to need the oil and gas to move, and I think that it's going to be, in the long run, I want to see this ideological regime that has killed people for 40 years. I want to see them removed, and I think that's ultimately what it's going to take for us to get a real stable situation around the straits.
And then you've got Iran accusing the U.S. of violating the deal to reopen the strait. What kind of a step back? Is it a reversal?
I don't know. I trust our government way before I trust the Iranians. This is their mode of operandi for years. They continue to say one thing and do another. I think whenever dealing with countries like Iran, what we had to deal with Syria and other countries, you watch their actions. We go by their actions, not necessarily their words, because their actions are really what they're up to, and I think it shows that they are being disingenuous.
I just got to ask you what you think is going to come next. How do you see the next few weeks playing out? We've got tensions rising again, and many are just wondering at this point if a deal to end Iran's nuclear program is still in reach.
Yeah, I do. I think that it is in reach. It's going to be volatile like this, and simply because I think that we're still trying to figure out too exactly who's in charge. And I know that President Trump is talking to, he's got a great idea of who's can make these decisions, but then all of a sudden when they start, reneging on their decisions and what they announce that they're going to do, then who is in charge? So I think that's what we're needing to find out. And hopefully at some point, if we can strengthen the Iranian people inside the country, that they can start helping to take their country back and removing the Ayatollah, removing the IRGC, removing the corrupt leadership that's been there. It'll ultimately be better for the people of Iran, and it'll help stabilize the economy for everybody. Iran could be such a prosperous nation without a dictatorship if we can get this done right. But it's going to take this back and forth like this, because these guys are not going to give up power easily.
Sure. Before I let you go, I got to get your take on this new Politico poll that shows just 38% of Americans are supporting the military operation in Iran at this point. The war is really unpopular with some of Trump's base who voted for him because he campaigned against forever wars, right? And so with the control of the House and the Senate on the line in midterms in November, what is the message right now from the Republican Party to voters who don't think this war is in the best interest of Americans?
Well, that's an interesting question, Laura, because, here in my district in Northeast Indiana, when I talk to older folks who are our base in the Republican Party, they understand the context. They understand the 40 years that Iran has been a thorn in so many people's sides, the proxies that they have with Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect even within the party at some point, because they understand the context. I hear it all the time. People say, you know what, let's finish the job. You got to finish the job. I get it with the younger folks. They feel like, hey, get away from the wars. But this is kind of like the last piece on the chessboard that we have got to eliminate. President Trump, went in. Our military did an incredible operation in Venezuela. We've been able to bring peace to other parts of the region in the Middle East. I mean, 10 years ago, Qatar, the Saudis, UAE, and maybe some other countries would not have been on board necessarily to go after the Iranian regime. And so that's why I think we have to keep our eyes on the mission. The polls are going to move, side to side. But at the end of the day, this is the right thing to do for stability in the Middle East. When you hear the Iranian Americans cheering on that there's potential change there, I think that should all tell us a lot as well.
Yeah, we're watching that too. Okay, Republican Congressman Marlin Stutzman from Indiana. Really appreciate you joining us today.